What's up, Pirates? Wraith and Jim here with Awaken TCG, and today we're talking about the OP08 leaders. They finally have all been revealed, and so we're going to go ahead and talk about them. There's some good ones, there's some not so good ones, but we got a wide variety of leaders that we have never seen before, and so I think it's going to be real fun.
Yep, looking forward to these leaders for sure. Don't know if I'm as excited for as I was for OP07, but there's a couple here that look really fun. So first up here, we've got Tony Chopa is going to be a red-green leader. I think our first red-green leader since OP01, not including EB actually, we got Odin. This one is going to be a standard 4-life leader with 5,000 power and the animal, Drum Kingdom, and Straw Hat Crew type. And it's just going to read activate main once per turn, put up to 1 Rested Dawn on up to 3 of your animal or Drum Kingdom type characters. Right off the bat, this is worse Zoro, in my opinion. Zoro basically does this effect for free. On a 5-life leader, I don't know of any good animal characters in general that's going to make this leader good. So we're definitely going to need some strong support. And I think the only thing, in my opinion, that's going to make this leader make any sense, to make me play this leader over anything else, would be if all these animal or Drum Kingdom type characters have Dawn X1 effects. That is the only reason I'd ever play this leader over Zoro or Law or something like that.
Yeah, I feel like that's where they're gearing towards it to go. So hopefully that is true, because then the deck could actually be really good. But if that's not the case, then we're kind of just, we're a cheap version of Zoro here. Like, what are we doing? We're 4 life? No. Give us 5 life. Let's just play Zoro. Again, Chopper being one of my favorite characters. Not actually haven't seen the show. I'll get to it. Don't worry. You guys don't got to tell me in the comments. I'll get to it. But Chopper is one of my favorite characters, and so I'm going to play this deck. Probably not competitively unless it's really good, but I'm definitely gonna make it, try it out, play it for locals, and have fun with this. But this leader ability, just off of what we know, with the support currently out, the leader seems like it's kind of mid. Next up, we're going to have Marco. Marco, he is a red-blue leader, 4 life, 5,000 power. He is a Whitebeard Pirates. His effect is going to read Dawn X1, activate main once per turn, draw 1 card, then place 1 card from your hand on the top or bottom of your deck. Then give up to one of your opponent's characters minus 2,000 for this turn. So off the bat, that seems really, really good. The one thing that stands out is, you have that draw 1 and then place to the top or to the bottom. So essentially you're cycling 1 card out of hand, which is similar to Sakazuki. The only issue here is we have to attach 1 Dawn. But on top of that, we get a minus 2,000 for one of our opponents. So we do get a second effect. Sakazuki gets 2 effects for free. So people were kind of comparing this to Sakazuki, but I think it's not going to be as good, while still very, very good and having that ability to be consistent through the cycle. I think, in my personal opinion, that this is probably the best leader effect out of all the OP08 leaders.
Yeah, I could probably agree with that, but it's nowhere near going to be Sakazuki level. People that think it's going to be that good aren't realizing that the color combination of red and blue does not have that magic spice that blue and black do. Blue and black is a pretty dangerous color combination. Red and blue, not so much. They really don't work together. However, that is not to say this leader effect is not insanely strong. It does cost 1 Dawn, so if you're going to want to do this, you're going to have to play off curve, which is always a bit awkward. But it does allow for some very strong plays, and basically does, like Sakazuki, allow you to see 2 cards per turn, which is probably the reason the deck is so strong. I mean, obviously the color combination definitely helps it out, but I think this leader is going to be good. And people are talking about combos like 9-cost Sanji into a 9-cost Newgate. You can pretty much guarantee that on 10 Dawn. You have a 9-cost Newgate in hand. You literally do Dawn X1. I'll put that Newgate to the top, draw 1, and then play a Sanji. Boom. You got a 9K, a 10K, and your leader's a 7. So really, really strong leader, and I can't wait to see what decks people make with this guy, honestly.
Yeah, it's gonna be very insane to watch and see what people can create. So next up we have Carrot, a mono green leader, 5 life, 5,000 power, Minx trait. This effect is going to read activate main once per turn. If you have a character with the Minx type in play, rest up to one of your opponent's cost 5 or less. So already off the bat, this is kind of like a Bonnie Jr. effect. I feel like you would rather just play Bonnie. I'm not too sure what kind of support we'll get. I mean, a lot of the times that's what they leave it up to, because if this was a leader right now with the current Minx cards, this deck is going to be non-existent. So this is one of those other leaders where I don't think is going to be that strong.
This is giving Hody Jones OP06. Lock to an archetype, Minx, right? So the Minx cards are going to need to be pretty strong for this leader to make sense. It's definitely a weaker Bonnie effect, but that's not to say it's just like a worse effect. It still has its own uses. Bonnie cannot rest things on your attacking turn, right? This leader can, and as long as there's a Mink on board, if we get like a one-cost searcher Mink, you play that out, and this affects online for the rest of the game if they're not removing that one cost, right? So there is no cost, which is always amazing, right? Resting a 5 for free is great. Perona does the same thing, right, with a 4, but there are some 5 costs that Perona would definitely want to hit that is going to be really good with this leader. Not to mention it is a 5 life leader, so definitely needs good support, but I do not have high hopes, let's just say that.
Yeah, 100%.
Next up here, we've got King. So if you have been watching the channel in the past week or so, I made a video on this guy because I'm really excited for him as a Animal Kingdom Pirates and Black and Purple color combination enthusiast. But anyways, let's go over his effect. So King is going to be Purple Black leader. 4 life, 5,000 power, your standard with the Animal Kingdom Pirates trait. The main takeaway from that is we can play 3-cost Onigashima stage, which is the best ramp option in the game. And then it's going to read activate main once per turn, don -2. You can choose one of these effects. If your hand is at 5 or less cards, draw 1. And then the other effect is give up to one of your opponent's characters a -2 cost for the turn. So don -2 is kind of a big ask. Early at least. Once we get to 10 Don -2 doesn't do anything technically, because if we do it after we play cards, then next turn we'll be at 10 Don again anyway, unless we're doing more Don minus effects, but we'll have Onigashima to circumvent that and stuff like that. So great effect, basically can allow you to draw 2 every turn in the late game or have a tech option to -2 cost. But the thing with the doing Don -2 to -2 cost is it becomes a bit awkward, because you want to do the -2 cost before you play a card, right? But you want to do a Don -2 after you play a card. So you're kind of in this awkward spot where you need to make use of 2 Don before you do your Don minus and then play your KO card. So I think what this archetype is going to need is activate main KO effects. Like if you saw the Jack leak, it's a 7/8 that's going to be activate main KO 3. So basically you can play that on the board, do the leader effect on -2, and then activate Jack effect. That's the order you want to do things in. So hopefully they get more of that stuff.
This leader seems good. I personally believe this is probably going to be the second best leader. Purple Black is a deadly combo that people forget about. Z had a stint. It had a running. If it were to have a better support at the time, I think it would have been a great deck. But like you said, this -2 cost for that Don -2 has to be activate main, and you kind of want to pop, with using the cards is after you do the -2, right? So it's kind of hard to get that -2 and still use that full 10 Don. Here's a solution. You just have 2 kids on board. Have 2 kids on board. Don -2, you get them back active. There you go.
I guess.
I'm joking. But yeah, I think this leader obviously has a free draw at end game. If you have no other Don minus effects, you can just Don -2, draw 1, so you're drawing 2 per turn, which is really good. It has that extra, I guess, it gives you a different opportunity than just being stuck with one effect. It gives you that flexibility to be able to draw if you need it or do the -2. So while individually both of the effects aren't great, just having the ability to choose one or the other is going to be pretty good, just because you're going to have that flexibility, which is always good, right? To have the option select to do different things. But that is going to be it for King. Next up, we have Charlotte Pudding. So Charlotte Pudding is a purple yellow leader, Big Mom Pirates, 4 life, 5,000 power, and her effect is going to read: when attacking, you may turn the top 2 life cards of your life face up. Then add up to 1 Dawn card from your Dawn deck as rested. So we get a free ramp. All you have to do is swing, check top 2 cards of your life, flip them face up, and now you just got a free ramp. So you can turn 4 Big Mom, which is what people are saying is very scary. I'm not sure how well that's going to work. This leader is 4 life. If you decide to turn 4 Big Mom, you're going to have to use 2 ramps besides your 2 attacks, which mean you're not going to have a board developed for 3 of your opponent's swings, meaning your hand size is going to be low. You're already at 4 life. So there is definitely some concern for you getting rushed down if you're trying to race to 10 mom. But like on paper, it sounds amazing.
Yeah, I love the design for yellow as a color because obviously people are frustrated with triggers. So having a leader that can basically flip life up and say, okay, I have triggers here, but you know they're there, so you can play accordingly, is I think really good game design. I mean, despite the fact that we're ramping to 10 mom, which sounds really scary, if that's the only win condition for this deck, that's definitely going to be a problem. As somebody that's played, a lot of purple decks that rely on drawing one singular card, it's going to be the same situation in this deck if that is our only game plan. So I do think we're going to need a bit more Big Mom Pirate support. Obviously, ramping to 10 mom and 7 mom is going to be great, but you're not going to see that every single game. So I'm looking forward to this leader. It looks a lot of fun. Like just the thought of ramping to these big yellow cards is always something that I thought was cool. That's why I love purple yellow croc. This one might manage to be a bit better depending on the support we see, though.
Yeah, 100%, 100%. You want to go ahead and give the last one and
Yeah,
send off?
let's go here. We got the goat Calara from the Skypiea flashback. Unfortunately, not Noland. Honestly, would have preferred Noland as leader, but Calgara is cool in his own right. We're gonna get not another mono yellow leader. 2 sets in a row. We get 2 mono yellow leaders. This one though going to be a lot more standard than Vegapunk. Going to be a typical 5 life, 5,000 power with the Jaya, Sky Island, and Shandora Warriors traits. And a leader is going to read Dawn ×1 when attacking. Put a character with the Shandoran Warriors type from your hand into play that has a cost equal to or less than the number of Dawn you control. So by Dawn you control, it just means the amount of Dawn you have for that turn. So if you're on your 4 Dawn turn and you attach 1, you have 3 Dawn left, you can still play a 4 drop because you control 4 Dawn. And then after that, if you played a card, put the top card of your life into your hand. So this is an aggro yellow deck, which I think is really cool. And I think the effect is not only strong early game, but it's strong late game. If we're, say, going, let's say we go second, we on our 4 Dawn turn, our first turn we can attack, we can do 1 on lead, swing 6 to lead. We can play a 4 drop off of leader effect, and then we'll still have 3 Dawn remaining to play another 3 cost. So you can swarm board early and late game, say we have like 9 Dawn, attach 1 to lead, swing 6, play a 9 cost. I don't know if there's going to be a 9 cost Shandora Warrior. Obviously, this is locked to that trait, but hopefully we get some big ones, and then after that you'll have 8 Dawn to do whatever you want from there. So this is going to be a really fun archetype, I think, but completely reliant on the Shandoran Warrior support because right now, the ones currently in the card pool are not good whatsoever.
Yeah. I think that's the only concern with this leader right now. It's like, there's very few leaders that are archetype locked that actually are really good. One of those being Gecko Moria, now that we have him in set 6. But the support is going to determine the strength of this deck. Obviously, the leader is strong in its own right, but only being able to play a Shandorian Warrior means it's very, very limited to what it can actually do. Now you're going to have to split this deck up half Shandorian Warriors, half Big Mom Pirates, or half Sky Island. Usually what happens to make these decks become meta. But you never know. The support can be insane, and this can be a top tier deck with the right support. But yeah, this is probably one of the leaders I'm excited to play. It seems very fun, like just having that pace, right? Most decks are slower. I tend to have fun on the faster paced decks, so this is definitely up my alley, and I'm very excited for all these leaders to come out. Um, what is your thoughts on the OP08 leaders as a whole? Like, are you satisfied? Do you think they could have
Uh,
been better?
yeah, I'd say out of all of them, the only ones I'm underwhelmed with are Chopper and Carrot. I don't. I maybe it's just because my least favorite color is green, but I just think their leader effects aren't going to be great. We'll have to see the support. Obviously, they're both two leaders that are
Yeah,
also
no,
archetype
100%.
locked. But I mean, leaders that are archetype locked can be good, like you said, Moria, and I think a really good example, Reiju. Reiju is a
Mm-hmm.
complete Germa deck
Mm-hmm.
that the support was great, so the leader's great. I mean, any of these leaders could fall under that category.
Yeah. But that is going to be it for this video, guys. We appreciate you guys watching. We hope you guys like the OP08 leaders as well. Very different. We got a lot of different characters as leaders now, which is cool. I like to see that. It's not the same old, same old. So that's very exciting. But like this video, comment down below what your favorite OP08 leaders. Subscribe to our channel, and don't forget to join that giveaway. The link should be in the description. And we'll see you guys on the next one.